A huge amount of pressure is growing on Sir Keir Starmer as he hasn't publicly backed for a ceasefire in Gaza, leading to many people within Labour angry at the Labour leader, and even councillors forcing their resignations out of dispute over this. We're going to read into this more from Byline Times, guys, to get a better understanding of what's going on exactly. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is REGANELITE here with an article from Byline Times with the headline that resignations and anger mount at the rising number of Labour councillors and MPs are demanding Sir Keir Starmer backs a ceasefire in Gaza. The left-wing and Muslim MPs and councillors are urging the Labour leader to push back a pause in the Israeli bombing of Gaza following Hamas's terror attacks. So basically, the time of this recording, obviously things could possibly change, but Sir Keir hasn't publicly backed a ceasefire in Gaza. And the question is, why? Why would you not want to stop the bloodshed, regardless of what side you're on? You know, nobody wants any more children or innocents to die. And what happened with what Hamas did was absolutely disgusting and atrocious, and nobody's disputing that. But is it right that Israel bombing of Gaza is this right? Should innocent Palestinians die as a result of the actions of what Hamas have done? And some people think it's justified, which I think is absolutely atrocious. I think Sir Keir has really put himself in a really bad position from a lot of people within Labour. As far as I'm aware, it hasn't really affected the polls here in the UK as of right now. But obviously things can change. But it's not helping his position whatsoever. That is for sure. So the Labour Party faces an internal revolt over Sir Keir Starmer's positioning on Gaza, as the Palestinian Strip continues to face an Israel blockade on most water, fuel, electricity and food supply. So that right there, you know, how can you approve of something like that, guys? I think that's something that's very concerning, to say the least, to want to support anything of that sort. Because in theory, are you like, why would you support something that would detriment the people of Palestine? And is it really going to hurt Hamas? I think that's the question you need to ask yourself. Is it really going to hurt Hamas because they're the ones you want to make suffer? Is it really going to make the difference? Starmer has so far resisted calls for a ceasefire, leading to a significant number of his MPs to challenge the official position. In an LBC interview shortly after the Hamas attacks, Sir Keir Starmer told presenter Nick Ferrari that Israel has the right to withhold power and water from Gaza. Well, I don't think they should have that right. Why should they have the right to do that? I don't agree with that statement at all. He subsequently attempted to clarify his comments and called for humanitarian aid to be allowed in. Yeah, he has called on that numerous occasions, but he hasn't called specifically for a ceasefire. The Labour leader's comments triggered a backlash among some of the party. The party is witnessing a growing number of resignations from councils, with at least 25 quitting the party over the issue. Resignations in Oxford have led to the party to lose its majority on the council. Momentum, the grassroots left-wing campaign group that backed Jeremy Corbyn, has confirmed that the tally of the Labour MPs supporting the ceasefire stands at 40, including figures like moderate Stella Creasy plus former leader Jeremy Corbyn, suspended MP Diane Abbott. Over 80 MPs from various parties have now backed left-wingers Richard Burgon's parliamentary petition, the EDM, to back a halt to the conflict. Now, it is important to emphasise is that while we do back a ceasefire, there's not that much influence that the United Kingdom can have in forcing a ceasefire. If there's one nation that can make a ceasefire happen, it is the United States of America. So I'm sure that there is. I'd hope that there is some communication with America into causing some kind of ceasefire to de-escalate the tension over there, because it is upsetting. Because no doubt that Iran and Lebanon, just other Middle Eastern nations, are not liking what's happening, as well as Turkey as a majority Muslim country as well. It's not good at all, and it could start it could spread this war if a ceasefire is not suggested. So I'd like to think that America would, but we know that Joe Biden has kind of unequivocally given his undying support for Israel. So yeah, it's not good. The numbers suggest that almost half the party's backbenchers are now publicly demanding a ceasefire. The push for a ceasefire is particularly strong among socialist and Muslim MPs, as well as MPs from the constituency with a significant Muslim voter base. Thousands of supporters have also voiced their support for this stance, using Momentum's new lobbying tool to urge their MPs to change tack. Over 5,000 Palestinians have now been killed, according to the World Health Organization, following Israel's bombing in response to Hamas's terror attack, which killed over 1,400 civilians. Is that justified? No. There's no justification over it. It is absolutely horrific what Hamas has did, but it should not in any way justify killing of the same amount, if not more. It shouldn't be one tick for tack of a loss of life, especially innocent loss of life. The Labour Muslim Network released a letter on Tuesday from 115 Muslim Labour councillors that called for immediate ceasefire. Sensing mounting anger to Keir Starmer and his deputy Andrew Rayner, they held a crisis meeting with Muslim Labour MPs later today. They also see the Conservatives reintroduce their anti-boycott bill during the report stage in the same day as its third reading. The move suggests it's being rushed through the Commons in what Momentum believes is an opportunist attempt to gain political advantage. The bill aims to ban councils from backing boycotts, divisions and sanction campaigns, and the Labour Party's absence during the bill's second reading. So a Labour MP told the Byline Times that Sudak is pushing this bill like this that seeks division. During the boycott bill in the middle of what's going on is seen as unbelievably irresponsible. Momentum is currently pressuring the leadership to oppose the bill. To date, over 2,000 supporters have used Momentum's lobbying tool to send emails to Keir Starmer, urging the Labour Party to oppose what they see as an anti-democratic and authoritarian bill during its third reading. Starmer avoided bringing up the situation in Gaza at Prime Minister's questions on Wednesday, perhaps in recognition that it was at the weak point for the party. So it's a view on the inside the left, Labour left, according to them here. So the left of the Labour Party is mounting its largest challenge to the leadership position seen for some time. Around 26 councillors now submitted their resignations over the leadership position in Gaza. A senior Momentum source said about a week or 10 days after Starmer's Nick Ferrari interview on LBC, he appeared in an ITV clip where he claimed that he either didn't say or mean certain things. But we clearly heard his statements, and frontbenchers David Lammy and Emily Thornberry, in separate interviews for the BBC and one on Newsnight and another on Sunday morning, echoed Starmer's lines. So backing the blockade is clearly the party line. However, there's little hope on the Labour left that Starmer will change position. Despite the Greens, SNP, Lib Dems and Plaid Cymru all backing the ceasefire, I generally hope that they can adapt and improve on the Gaza issue, and that based on recent events I'm sceptical, the source said. Like I said, there's only so much we can do here. Even if the government backed the ceasefire, it still wouldn't force Israel to do so. But I generally think it's a case of Keir is trying to cozy up to Israel for when they go into government at the next general election. Backbench MPs will meet with Starmer on Wednesday afternoon following Prime Minister's questions, where they expected to push for a ceasefire. Muslim MPs and councillors are extending more pressure on the leadership. The source said there's speculation about whether some MPs might feel compelled to descend publicly from the official line of Keir if he does not reassure them. I'm sure he will say things privately that he will not say publicly to them. But why he won't call for a ceasefire, I'm not sure. The result of the Muslim voting census are set to be released on Thursday, shedding light on the Muslim votes across various constituencies. A significant number of MPs are understood to be concerned about the potential backlash over the Israel-Palestine and the possibility of losing their seat. Momentum has also created a tool that lets members lobby in their MPs over Gaza. Thousands of members have utilised the tool to express their views, but beyond these measures, there is limited action that can be taken. Momentum source added. Yeah. So this is the update. This was the latest update that Byline Times have updated. So after Keir Starmer's meeting with the backbench Labour MPs on Wednesday afternoon, the leader put a statement calling for humanitarian pauses to the fighting, adding, "It is clear that the amount of aid and essential utilities getting into Gaza are completely insufficient to meet the humanitarian emergency on the ground. That's why I've repeatedly said that aid, fuel, water, electricity and medicine must be urgently ramped up in what can come through the Rafah crossing and through Israel turning back on its supplies, its controls." Momentum branded the statement Miffy mounted, with the spokesperson saying brief pauses in bombings are not a ceasefire. It's clear that Keir Starmer's Labour is continuing to back Israel's war on Gaza. Richard Burgon MP added that there must be a negotiated ceasefire that is binding on all parties. So yeah, at the time of this recording, guys, Keir Starmer has not called for a ceasefire, which is obviously not good at all. This may potentially harm him at the general election. I don't think it will. It will stop him from winning, but it will be a great attack line for the right wing to use against him in the papers, and that it is a dangerous attack line to people saying basically he doesn't care about children, because many children have lost their lives as a result of the bombings taking place by Israeli in Gaza. I just think he's looking more at trying to protect himself and cover himself from any criticism of Israel, and trying to cozy up to them for when he gets into power. I generally think that's what it is, and it's just like you're not even looking at the people who are supporting you. You're kind of turning your back on them. It's just not a nice position. Take the moral high ground is what he should be doing. Taking the moral high ground is what he should be doing. I mean, saying what he said there, I mean, it needs to be a ceasefire. There needs to be a ceasefire as soon as possible. We know we're not going to hear that from Rishi Sunak, and the Conservatives. But it's not ideal that the Labour leader is coming across the way he is as well. So what do you guys make of the situation in Labour? Do you think this will affect them at the next general election? Do you think the right wing are going to use this against them? I wouldn't be surprised, considering they'll use pretty much anything to stop Labour getting into power. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think. Like, share and subscribe as always. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to catch you all very soon.